Hi. My sudden random urge to make this video can be blamed purely out of boredom, and when I'm bored, I do what I do best, draw. For the most part, I only dislike a few of Critter's designs for reasons I will get into later after this probably boring intro. As you can probably already tell, I am loaded off of sarcasm, but I will try my absolute to be respectful towards the original creator, Judgmental Critter. Now, for most of Critter's designs, they are either really good or pretty decent. The designs that pushed me to make this video, on the other hand, feel like they need some work, so that's what I'm here for. My biggest pet peeve designs came from mostly Team Orange. Rwby, Oscar, a little nitpick of Neo and Wane. Sorry, you'll just have to live with the app's crappy mispunctuation of Wane. For the most part, I wanted to keep Critter's main ideas of each character the same, mostly adding on to what she's already done. Also, the design showcased in this video should not affect how Critter's already made story should play out. It's great, by the way, link in the description. Oh, but why stop there? I know Critter stated it was a lot to come up with a lot of new designs, but if you remember correctly, you'll recall that I'm bored. So I may have given Team Orange new outfits for summer, winter, and nighttime. That's right, 16. New hand-drawn and colored outfits. Their warm weathered clothes take elements from their main outfits, the more noticeable changes being the pants and sleeves most of the time. Their winter weather clothes, on the other hand, take on a more festive and jolly look that take mostly color to lead back to the original outfit. And as for their PJs, well, I wanted them to fit their personality by adding the smallest of details or gags. Otherwise, it's as simple as I could possibly make it. The extra outfits were mostly just for fun and weren't really made to fit into the story. As a whole, I wanted the team to have at least one color to connect to one another, while also making their individual colors pop or stand out. Again, I know Critter stated they weren't too focused on making everyone match. But I'm bored. Well, put that out of the way, let's move on to the individual characters, going in the same order. Critter's dose them in her live stream. Link in description. Rwby. Critter's design for Rwby felt a little disappointing. However, I don't necessarily disagree with what she was trying to go for. In Critter's video, she mentioned quite a few things that overall I wanted to convey in my redesign of her, such as the inverse cape, addition of pink, looking somewhat the same as show proper Rwby, and looking more comfortable, which is debatable whether I accomplished that or not. However, the thing about Rwby's outfit that made me want to redesign her was the overwhelming feeling of being too simple. For being one of the main characters, she doesn't necessarily dress like one. While it's good to have a somewhat simplistic design, people will recognize. It also has to compensate with smaller details and color schemes/patterns. The shapes of the outfit and not so put together color scheme made the outfit feel sloppy. It doesn't necessarily have a running theme to it either. What do I mean? Let's break it down. The outfit has mostly 5 working parts, not accounting for her wristband things. Someone please tell me what they're called. The t-shirt, the skirt, the boots, the vest, and the hood. The t-shirt feels off mostly because of the shaping. Her sleeves are sharp, but the bottom is round and bumpy, which would be fine if you either made the end of the sleeves bumpy or short and rounder to match the neck, hole or bottom of the shirt. On top of that, you have a somewhat pointy bottom to the vest. However, the top part is round. Either you make the entire vest feel pointy and the shirt more round, or you do the complete opposite to make the outfit feel well thought out. Another way to fix this issue is adding very small in-between like shapes that's both straight and rounded at the ends. Not including accessories. That way, you introduce the idea both sharp and round to make it feel natural. I do like how Critter tried to make the skirt feel similar to the shirt, adding a pattern of so-erts. My problem with the skirt is mostly color related. While the hood part does introduce the red into her character, the pink takes the spotlight away from it. And then you get reintroduced to black, which kind of takes your attention away from the one piece of brown you added, mixed with the small bits of red, which is darker than the cape, which is supposed to be her color. Overall, the color placement felt off and made Rwby's main color feel like pink, but that color belongs to someone else who's filled with pink. As for the cape, the thing that made me upset the most that I just can't seem to stop thinking about is how it's hanging on to Rwby. Is it a part of the vest? Is there a button or clip that's holding it? Perhaps a chain linking the two ends of the hood together. The smallest of details can make all the difference. The shoes aren't really anything special, but I won't judge them too much for it. Shoes are hard to draw, much like hands. The one thing I will say is making the shoes have the same color as the vest might balance out the color scheme. I dislike the arm things, they feel out of place, and don't really match the bubbly personality the outfit was giving. Moving on to the designs, I made plus changes. 1. The pose Critter originally had kind of felt stiff and awkward. I wanted to capture her personality through her pose alone. I wanted someone to look at that pose and say, yeah, that's someone who's outgoing and bubbly, maybe a little childish even. As if they have little to no cares in the world. However, the one thing I didn't do that Critter did really well on is the eye colors that I skipped. I liked everything she did with the eyes, so I decided to just leave it. 2. Outfit-wise, I wanted it to look like a fantasy archer of some kind, even though her weapon is a scythe/rival. I also made her hood scarf. If she needed to, she could put the scarf around the back side of the head to resemble a hood. Using shapes in her outfit, I wanted to give off the sense of a young child, trying to act older than she is, which, as you'll see later in other designs, contrast with Oscar and Neo. Oscar, feeling forced to act older instead of enjoying his youth, and Neo acting childish despite being surprisingly mature. The shapes I used are a lot of the round shapes Critter had in the OG design, but hid it behind sharper edges to mimic the appearance of someone more mature, sharp, and clever. I also added those in between shapes to introduce and separate the sharp with the round. As for the hair and the gloves, had no real issues with the hair Critter made. It was mostly just a personal preference to add the 3 black spikes that are there to resemble bird wings/feathers. The ends of the gloves are also there to resemble feathers while taking on that rounded look, hidden behind sharp shapes. 3. Color-wise, I started with pink, wanting to make the shirt and skirt feel like one piece, but then it looked like her main color was pink, so I changed it only for the top. The pink is also way lighter, mostly to draw more attention to the darker colors, such as the reds in her outfit. The browns you'll see through their designs are there mostly for their group color. I kept the inverse cape Critter originally did, this time matching it to the much lighter pink of her shirt. Not only does she match her mother now, but she also matches her sister by the yellows in place of the in-between lines that help separate the outfit. Finally finishing off the outfit with ever so slightly detailed shoes. 4. Critter mentioned this a couple of times with only a few characters, about keeping their weapons relatively the same and adding holder for said weapons. So I made a strap to hold on to Rwby's snip, which is hidden behind her and her cape. Hopefully, I was able to make her outfit feel simple yet quietly detailed enough to get her personality across more. I don't really want to go into a whole lot of detail when explaining the extra outfits, especially due to me talking a lot about them in the intro, so for short, I mostly wanted to play around with the types of hairstyles, up, down, and messy. The up hairstyle resembles feathers as a small detail. And the color schemes are relatively the same, just in different places, sometimes adding at least one new color. And the style is what you would expect for hot cold days and sleepwear. Feel free to enjoy basically a speed paint of the characters. Oscar. Oscar's design seemed fine to me at first, until Critter started explaining what she was going for in her design video. In Critter's video, she mentioned wanting him to have progressions from closed off to more open as he goes through the story, and while I didn't draw the end result of that journey, I did emphasize that closed off feeling a bit more. Critter also mentioned that the stuff around his neck was supposed to imply him feeling pressured to live up to the expectations of Oz. However, the rest of the outfit threw that feeling off, as the patches on his jacket gave the feeling of not caring about how he dresses. His jacket is wide open, which would make me assume he's not closed off or shy. His open-fingered gloves gave off an unreliable, immature, sort-of feel, which, as we go through the story, isn't true. You can count on him to show up, and you can rely on him to help someone out if needed. His flashy, unique boots also takes away from that almost shy aspects he carries through the show. Overall, his outfit feels misleading. The other thing I'm going to keep that Critter mentioned was that more green statement. Moving to my design of him. 1. Starting with his pose, I wanted to once again amplify the shy and uptight feel he gave off, to have someone look at his pose and assume he's awkward. 2. His outfit should feel like it's only being worn to impress someone else, so I did just that. He's pressured by the responsibility, so like Critter said in her design video, she wanted him to look like he's being choked or suffocated by that pressure. Not only is his neck being choked out by pressure, but the addition of the vest was to add layers to that pressure, suffocating his lungs as well. 3. If his main goal and problem is about the pressure to live up to Ozpin, why not have him take after traits of Ozpin too? The outfit I gave looks fancy and formal, for that sole purpose to match or impress Ozpin, even if he finds it uncomfortable to wear most of the time. Even his hair is slicked back and proper. 4. Earlier with Rwby, I had mentioned how I wanted her outfit to feel like she's pretending to act older than she is, while Oscar feels pressured to grow up faster. In his outfit I used a lot more sharp shapes to get that exact point across. He should look more mature, but uncomfortable about it. 5. The greens I used in his outfit progressively get darker the more the outfit moves inward, attempting to match his personality in a sense. He's actively doing things other mention, not to be of his own choice, not being his own person, and not standing for his own opinions. Doing things only for the sake of Ozpin, using his weapon of choice, wearing fancy clothes, keeping secrets from others, which is a direct attribute of Ozpin. Just like the outfit, that dark reality is there if you look close enough. The brown pants, on the other hand, are just the group's color. Although the small bits of red in his outfit is to more closely connect him with Rwby, her childish personality will rub off on him, making him realize he'd rather act his age while he still can. While on the other hand, Oscar's maturity rub off on Rwby and help her realize the right way to act in certain situations. 6. Extra outfit small description. I wasn't quite sure how to make him feel still closed up and less stressed for the heat of a hot day, so the most I did was remove his vest. And his PJs also introduced a new color for him, orange. To represent he is his own person, when he isn't constantly trying to be like Oz. In his most vulnerable outfit he's happier and more laid back. Alright, that's basically all for his part. Enjoy the speed paint if you want. That's right. I spelled his name wrong, so the text-to-speech could get it right. Critter's design of Juan was described to be more put together and more purpose-driven. He's supposed to look more proper. She also wanted him to be less armored, so he can reach injured people faster while still having enough armor to protect himself. Although his outfit and color scheme isn't bad, it feels underwhelming and boring. I think adding patterns or details throughout the outfit would make it feel more interesting. Also, if he's supposed to look more put together, how come his hair is this messy? Moving to my design of Juan. I wanted to keep that shy, nervous, but kind personality of the original pose relatively the same. For his outfit, I wanted to make it more detailed, adding more lines, buttons, shapes, etc. Hopefully to make his outfit feel less simplistic. For his hair, I again wanted to make it more proper, and less messy to match the rest of the outfit. Finally, for his weapon, I wanted it to be more accessible and constantly ready to protect, so when he is running out to heal someone, he doesn't have to go through so much action to grab his shield, which can also expand. For his color scheme, I wanted to make it more eye-catching and complex to once again make it feel less simple. The reds in his outfit are there to connect him to Rwby and his friendship with her. The goldish color to add a religious spin into his outfit. Finally finishing with the browns, which are just there to connect him to the group. For Juan's extra outfits, I'll admit I struggled a bit to make slightly detailed designs for him, but I tried my best. Welp, you know the cue by now. Enjoy the speed paint. Neo. Critter briefly mentions and explains Neo before moving on to the next group. The only thing I really got answers to in her outfit is that Critter wanted her to look doll-like to match her semblance. She dresses up, and she plays pretend most of the time. Which I get, I like that idea. I just wish there was more of an explanation for the details or concept other than that, but that's just nitpicking. Her outfit also makes me feel the opposite of how I felt with Rwby. Instead of feeling boring and simple, it feels complicated and a bit chaotic. I think that's mostly due to the coloring of her outfit. There's a lot of clashing pinks that are all fighting for your attention. You have Neo's bright pink that stands out due to the brown side of her hair, which isn't a bad thing at all. My issue stems from the slightly lighter pink right underneath her pink hair. That's accompanied by a bright neon pink, and while she separates the pink with black, it still isn't enough to combat your eyes from bouncing everywhere. Also, I'd suggest only doing one of the two. Either you make sure the light pastel pink is the pink that has the spotlight or the neon pink. While having both is possible, you have to do it in a way that makes it easier on the audience's eyes. Moving on to my Neo redesign. 1. I wanted to keep that doll, rich-like pose the original design had, just made it feel a little less awkward looking. 2. I wanted to include the overall round shapes the OG design had, this time having our sharper shapes somewhat covered by rounder shapes. Like I mentioned earlier, Rwby is pretending to act older than she is, while Neo is acting immature when she isn't. However, unlike Rwby, the sharp shapes aren't really hidden underneath a whole lot of clothes, it's just subtly sitting there. Much like Neo's powers while disguised, there are still subtle hints showing that it's not what others assume or see. For her hair, I just wanted it to match the pigtails of her younger self. 3. Color-wise, I wanted to add more darks to make the pink of the outfit pop, which will also make the outfit feel less complicated. The browns are there to once again match the group, while the red was there to show a closer friendship to Rwby. Oh, and somehow, I was able to subtly sneak orange into the color scheme of her vest. 4. Extras. When you see her extra outfits and extra doodles, you'll probably be able to guess who my favorite is. For the summer outfit, I somehow managed to add gray into the mix of colors. That's basically it for Neo. Enjoy the last speed paint. Okie dokie. That's all for Team Orange A. However, this isn't the end. I will do more of the other teams, mostly out fun and nitpicking. Let me know which team I should do next, or if I should just continue to do them in the order Judgmental Critter dosed them in her livestream. I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day.